This is my entire Barbie collection as of December 2020. During the Christmas holidays, I pulled out all of my dolls in an effort to do some downsizing, but instead I made this video. This collection doesn't include my childhood Barbies, only the ones since I started collecting in December 2016. I did get a few Barbies for Christmas, but they didn't make it into this video. Finally, this video took me forever to edit. Plus, I got sidetracked making other videos, so it is no longer representative of my entire Barbie collection. However, it does show which dolls I've placed on which Made to Move Barbies, so if you're interested in seeing which dolls I have body swapped, or you are interested in seeing my entire collection as of December 2020, feel free to keep watching. Now, I have become a bit obsessed with articulation, and I've been slowly but steadily rebodying my collection with Made to Move bodies, or at least giving them more articulation than the basic 5 points that they originally come with. So these are all of my original bodied dolls. Since there are so many, I decided to split this section of the video up into the various Made to Move skin tones. I've always loved Barbie ever since I was a kid, and I kept my favorite childhood dolls even after I stopped playing with them, but I didn't have much to do with Barbie from when I stopped playing with Barbies until around December 2016. That was when Mattel introduced the 4 new body types for the fashionistas: the original, the tall, the curvy, and the petite. And I absolutely loved the diversity of body types, as well as the variety of hairstyles, skin tones, and facial molds in the new line, and so I wanted some for myself. I was like, where were these Barbies when I was a kid? So I added a few Barbies to my Christmas wish list, just for fun, because it's fun to open toys on Christmas. I figured I would just display the Barbie if I got it on a shelf or something, but that was not the case. I just got one Barbie for Christmas, the Curvy Fashionista 27, who has blue and black hair, and you'll see her a little later in this video. She was the very first doll of my new collection, and I thought that would just be it, but then after Christmas, a bunch of the fashionistas were on clearance for $5 at Walmart, and so I used some Christmas money to pick up a few that I'd really liked. And that was how I got sucked back into Barbie collecting. For the most part, I only collect fashionistas, but I do occasionally buy other Playline Barbies, and there is one collector line that I'm really interested in, which is the BMR 1959 dolls. Since I first started collecting, I've also begun to give my dolls articulation, and if possible, I really like to keep the body type that the doll originally came with, but there are so few skin tone options for curvy, tall, and petite Barbies that a lot of my dolls end up on original Made to Move bodies. In my whole collection, I only have one of the basic Made to Move yoga dolls who got to keep her head, Afia. This is because she was my first ever Made to Move doll. At first, I was only collecting fashionistas, but when I finally decided to buy the newest Made to Move doll, I was so excited to get her and open her. When the package came, I ripped it open, only to find that she had misprinted lips that were printed off center. It was such a bummer because I had really wanted to open her up and see a Made to Move doll up close. So at first, I was going to just send her back and get a replacement, but after a few days, I couldn't wait. I just had to open up this Made to Move doll. So I opened her up, and I fell in love with her posability and her sweet face despite the off-center lips. And in the end, I decided to keep her as is, and now the lips kind of make her who she is. For curvy Barbies, there are currently 3 Made to Move skin tone options, although a new skin tone is coming out with the latest Made to Move wave, and unfortunately, one of the curvy skin tones comes from the BMR 1959 wave, which is twice as expensive to buy as just a regular Made to Move, so I don't have any extra of that skin tone. And also, because there are so few skin tone options for curvies, a lot of my dolls lose their curvy body to become Made to Move. However, there is one doll that I was absolutely determined to keep curvy and give articulation, which was the doll in Jerry. So she's on the Oprah doll body, which isn't Made to Move, but you know, extra articulation is close enough. Finally, this is Edith, the doll who restarted my Barbie collecting. Similarly, there are not a lot of Made to Move tall dolls, and 2 of them also are from the BMR 1959 line, which again is a bit expensive if you are only buying them for the body. So most of my tall Made to Move girls are the basketball girl, and as you can see, I have quite a few on this body type. One of the disappointing parts about the basketball Made to Move doll is her head. It is extremely similar to the brunette soccer player, and it's almost like getting the same doll repackaged. So if I hadn't wanted the new body type, I would have skipped the basketball player altogether. Despite my obsession with articulation, I do have several dolls in my collection who do still have the basic 5 points of articulation, and there's a couple of reasons for that. First, I just haven't gotten around to getting them Made to Move bodies yet, or I haven't decided that I want to give them a Made to Move body. The second reason is that they don't have an acceptable Made to Move skin tone match like these 3 girls. And last, giving articulation might erase a part of their uniqueness. So Kelly has vitiligo, Destiny and Ariadne have prosthetic legs, Jamila and Danielle have the newest fashionista body type with a smaller bust and thicker middle, and I don't have a Made to Move body with that body type, so I wanted to keep some dolls with that body type in my collection. My Ken collection is quite a bit smaller than my Barbie one. This is because there are proportionally less Kens than Barbie, and also I try to only buy the Kens that I really like. Plus, there are just a lot less options for Made to Move Ken rebodying, and as is obvious from this video, I love Made to Move articulation. So if I can't add some articulation to my Kens, they're not as desirable for me. However, I do love the fact that the Ken fashionistas have the same diversity of body type, skin tone, hair, and facial modes as the Barbie fashionistas. So, like, where were these dolls when I was a kid? When I only had 2 Kens and some thrift store G.I. Joes. Come on, Barbie. Why did it take so long to get these amazing dolls? Speaking of hair, many collectors wish that Ken fashionistas had rooted hair, but personally, I prefer molded hair on Kens. Although the long hair Ken and the newest rooted Ken look pretty cool and their hair is pretty awesome, short doll hair can just be a pain. It sticks out at all angles, and if you really want it to stay in place, you essentially have to gel it into a cap, so it might as well be plastic at that point. Therefore, in my opinion, molded hair is a better option. It's much tidier, you don't have to worry about styling it, and that's what I prefer on Kens. Finally, my obsession with articulation extends to my Skipper and Stacy collection. In order to give them articulation, I actually found a bunch of Creatable World dolls as they were going on clearance, and used them to rebody the Stacy and Skippers. I do prefer the proportions of the Stacy heads in the Creatable World dolls, but the Skipper ones are pretty cute too. It wasn't as simple to switch their heads to Creatable World dolls as it is for a Barbie to Barbie transplant. There are quite a few extra steps that I had to go through in order to make the switch. That is my entire Barbie collection as of December 2020. It's virtually impossible for me to pick a favorite out of my entire collection, but my first fashionista will always hold a special place in my heart, as well as my first Made to Move doll, misplaced as they are.